do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is Femi here, and we are on the Uncovered Podcast with, formerly known as the Uncovered Podcast with Nick and Femi.
And still remains that name. So let's continue on, champion.
Yes,
How are we? It's
Um,
Gucci people. It's your boy Nick, and I'm here with the lovely, new and improved. You guys got to check out the visuals though, because what I'm about to say to you guys is crazy right now. So, my boy Femi has, he's a new man right now, guys.
Yes,
You guys, this is like episode like 42, 43 or whatever.
come on, talk to
And
him.
you guys have never seen this guy like this before.
Talk to him.
So, pretty much what Femi's done is that he's gone really, really short. And if you guys know Femi, man, like he hasn't gone short since what? When was the last time he went short?
This short,
I think like year 12, bro.
yeah, I
This
think
short.
I did short. I think it was literally when I was like 18.
And like I walked into the studio and I was just started like laughing, not in a bad way. He just
not.
looked like he just looked adorable, bro. I was like,
I always is
you don't.
adorable.
I'm like,
bruh.
finally, what a change. I'm looking like trash.
Facts. It's been crazy. It's been a really, really crazy. It's just like, like when you have that Britney Spears moment where it just like looks like, yo, I didn't chop all my hair off.
Bro,
this
that
shit
was
is
me after
crazy.
Europe, bro. I was like, this is amazing.
Yo,
Gave it an Avatar airbender haircut.
no.
The airbender haircut.
No, I'm telling you, people don't understand that story. There's actually a story to how Nick ended up looking like Aang. So look,
That's not about me. It's about you. It's about your hairstyle. That's another story.
That's a good story, though.
Yeah.
It's a good story. Yeah, man, not really much to talk about my haircut, really. Like, I guess one day I just was like, yo, this is crazy. I didn't really like the beard. Like, the beard was just too much to maintain. The hair was too long. And, I'm going to give you guys an uncovered exclusive that nobody really knows. Not even Nick knows.
Oh.
Your boy Femi was...
Buongiorno!
Oh, whoops, that was an accent. Your boy Femi was low-key... Was balding, bro.
Oh!
Yeah. The hairline was receding. The hair shit was mad. And I noticed it because I was like, my hair was getting longer, but there was a little bit that wasn't that long. So my hair was probably like a 4 or a 5. And then a little bit was like maybe like like a 2. I was like, oh shit.
So that's the real reason.
No, it's not the real reason.
Oh, I actually really like this style, man. I really wanted it.
I've been noticing it for
LeBron
time.
James.
Nah. No, but I've been noticing it for a while, but I didn't really care. But that was more what I just said is I was just got sick of it was now. But yeah, I've been noticing I've always been the type of person that said like, look, I'm not someone that's like, if I've got a shit hairline and my hair's going mad that I'll care about that. I'll just sack it, man. It's just hair. Like, I'm pretty either way, with or without, baby. So like, no, so yeah, when my hair started looking like that and like gotten a bit short, I had like those hair issues. I'm like, yo, it's done. Yeah. It's done. I'm gonna start looking like Tupac, bald, Shamar Moore. People always say I look like Shamar Moore. It's crazy. Do you know who that is?
Nah.
You know the guy from Criminal Minds?
I don't really watch Criminal Minds. Oh, the light skin guy.
Yeah, I look like him. I'm telling you.
No, you don't.
Are you crazy?
You
Nick?
don't.
Bro.
That is the biggest stretch of 2020, bro. No way.
You can
point that to the camera so the camera can see what this guy's saying. That is wild. I'm definitely gonna make that a snippet.
Nah,
so
but if I was lighter or he was darker, I look like him, like Tyrese, like Tyrese vibes. Yeah, but it's crazy, and it's like no one really saw it because I was covering it with a beard, covering it with my longer hair, but now I'm back. So
how you feel? How you feel about it?
I feel very young. I feel very fresh.
You look young.
I look very young and fresh, and I like that. I like feeling a bit younger because now that we're actually getting a bit older, you don't want to actually look.
You don't want to look that age.
You don't want to look that age anymore.
Oh, you're 25. Like,
oh, yeah.
Really?
You're like, shit, we're getting to that
We're
age.
at that point.
It's now that before when you were younger, you were trying to look a bit older, to impress the ladies.
Because we're going to go chat to that lady at the club.
She's 32.
She's 30. Exactly.
You're 18. You want to look older.
Yeah.
Let me put the beard on.
Yeah.
So we did that. I'm over that now and I'm 25. Hairline's mad. So yeah, bro.
Yeah, man, you're going through a crisis. It's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
But you know what? Like the thing about you that you're lucky because like I know you've been already. You're a smart guy. Actually, I'll tell you why you're a smart guy. Femi, is you've been seeding this whole bold idea for a while. Just put it in there and getting the boy stamp of approval so that when you did it, it's not going to be like, oh, that's crazy. It was just a bit like everyone's already giving you the stamp of approval on it.
It's just
so when you do go bold,
Grandmaster,
no one's going to hate.
Crazy.
So well done.
Thank you. I've done my thing.
That's a big picture thinker, ladies and gentlemen. That's big picture. He's been seeding this idea since like what? You were 20 years old.
Facts. And I noticed this shit going left when I was 20 years old. Let me tell you a story.
Because when I cut your hair, isn't it?
Wait, would you make me go bald? Was it you?
I didn't make you go bald, but I noticed that you were growing it, and I'm like, it's not getting any longer. Remember when I gave it a Kendrick?
Oh, no, but that's been the thing. I don't know. Since I've been a kid, like ever since, I think my hair stopped getting long when I was like 15, 16. I just don't know why I just didn't go past like a 5.
Yeah, I remember that age. You couldn't pass it.
I couldn't pass it. It was crazy. But anyway, do you remember that time when we used to work at the bank, and I always say the names, but those two you gotta say that. You gotta say J and T. J and T.
J and T.
2 females. African Nigerians.
Okay,
yeah, J and T, right? God bless them, love them both, but I don't want to, out them.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool, J and T, yeah. And I was like, oh. I remember when they put a snap saying Femi's bolding, going bold.
Did they?
Remember when they're like Femi's going bold because I had a little patch there, right?
Oh, I think I remember.
And then you were like, oh, it's like, bro, you're not going bold. You're going shorter. Stop telling niggas that it's bold. And I'm like, no. I'm going bold. As in, involuntarily, my hairline's mad. So that was what was happening. So that's been happening since I was like 20 years old. So basically, I've been kind of aware that my hair situation hasn't been the best. So I'm kind of comfortable with just going short. So if the good Lord says no more hair tomorrow, it's blessed. I'll just go naked in the head top.
Is it really that blessed though?
I swear to God, I don't care. I'm actually not the type of person that cares about that shit. Straight up.
That's dope. That's cool. Well done.
Bro, I'm telling you, body positivity, you gotta love yourself, man. Love yourself. Real talk. Every part of you. Even the parts that don't exist, like your hair.
Dead set, but you gotta own it, express it, and like, it is what it is. But if that's the timing, then
it's actually crazy because I know we're going on a tangent. It's all gonna link up. Just relax. Keep listening to the thing.
Keep listening. You guys like this comment anyway, so that's why we're just chatting.
It's actually a real issue for guys, man. Like, there's a lot of men that are real insecure about their hairline, real insecure about going bold. It's a real thing, right? And it's like, I can get it because like, it's very easy to think that you look trash with no hair. Because like the difference is remarkable.
No, that's it. Remarkable. And I think the craziest part about it is the adjustment. It's like you went from, you had hair. Yeah. You were styling that thing. I noticed you. And then I don't know, it's like, oh wow. It's like, I'll just grow it back, but I can't.
It's actually crazy. It's like you feel, and I think the thing that when they started happening to me, I was kind of like, yo, am I really that old though? You start coming to on like without being too deep, you start coming to terms with your own mortality. That like before when you were younger, it's like you could just do whatever. It's kind of like when you used to be able to drink all night and then bounce back to do, we used to party all night, go home at 4, 5 a.m. and I'll start work at 7.
Yeah, do a PT session and
go to work. And now it's like, if I'm partying to 4, 5 a.m., I can't work that whole weekend.
Yeah, it's actually insane.
It's like, it's the same type of things. Like what you used to be able to do, you can no longer do. And it's like, shit, what's wrong with me? Like I feel too young to be losing my hair. I feel too young to be not being able to grow my hair back, having bald patches and that. So my situation wasn't bad. Nobody noticed it. Thank God. It's only like I noticed it. And that's really it. Really only a couple people have really noticed it. That have been really close to my head that will be able to really notice it. So it's like, I know some guys that's like, you can't hide it. And it looks mad.
Exactly. Well, look, you did your thing on that one, to be honest, though. And I didn't really notice that. Like, I actually never knew that was like an issue. I knew it was coming. I knew it was something that was coming, but like I didn't think it was coming this soon. But
it's crazy. But it is what it is. Your head top's blessed though. I'll give you.
I don't think my hair's going anywhere.
It's
not going anywhere anytime soon.
Your one's looking very lush.
Nah, it's lush. Like my dad's hair still, like my dad's still got hair. Like
growing,
and he's like 60. So
your hair's blessed. You got really good My dad was being bald since I was born, man. I don't remember. I've never seen my dad with hair, so like, I was doomed from day dot.
That was doomed. But hey, man, we know some people that like were losing that from a long time as well. So it's like, people do their things. People do their things.
We know certain men that were close with us. R.I.P. the head. Yeah, R.I.P. the hairline. No, R.I.P.
But anyways, let's kind of get straight into it. So
yes.
So what are we talking about, Femi? And chat to the people.
Look, welcome to week 3 of our stress less kind of like series.
Yeah.
Don't forget, like, our program is going to be dropping very, very soon that we've been working on. And it's really exciting. So it's going to be leading up with this series, right? So week 3, Nicholas. Today's topic, we're going to be talking mostly around what it means and the necessity to actually take action and actually take active steps towards your own kind of stress management, right? Stress is something that, like, if it's not addressed, it's gonna fester. It's a saying, if it don't address, it's gonna manifest. Make some noise for that one. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about that. It's like something that I was like always really interested about, a concept called COI. And we talk about ROI, but it's like COI is the cost of inaction.
Ooh.
So the cost of inaction. What is it going to cost you if you don't take action? Because we always talk about like, if I do this, then I'll feel better. I'll be less stressed. I'll be X, Y, Z. But let's take a second to really understand what's going to happen if you don't do that. What are you sacrificing? What are you risking? What are you giving up? And there's an interesting little like exercise I want us all the listeners to do. That's really, really short. Takes 30 seconds, and all it requires is a pad, a pen, and your true honesty. Complete self-vulnerability. No one needs to see this but yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like, before we get into the exercise, I want to have a little bit of a discussion with you about what you think about this kind of conversation, this whole type of the ability to take action. Because I think that with stress and mental health it's very easy to feel out of control, and it's very difficult for you to take those first steps and understand that there are steps that we can play and we can do to be able to either alleviate our stress or address our kind of address things. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's like a perfect measure, because like literally the same as ROI. Like it's such an effective measure on a business perspective.
What is ROI, Nick, for those people?
For guys who don't know, that's a return on investment.
Come on.
And a lot of people in the business sense is like, if you don't know what the return's going to be, then like it's a measure, it's an indication of whether they're going to do it or not. It's like a decision maker. And it's kind of the same thing with this one, the cost of inaction. It's like, well, that should be a decision maker as well. It's like you were saying, Femi, a lot of the times we like, yeah, I know I'm going to feel better. But because you've been there for so long, you feel like it's something that you can just cope with and maintain. It's like, oh, it's not going to make me feel that much better. But then when you explain the exercise for people, when people can actually visually see what's going to happen, you realize that there's actually a lot at risk. There's a lot of stuff that you're actually missing out on because of your inability to take action. And I think it's so, so important. And it's a great exercise for people to do. Because a lot of people, there's a lot of things that people deserve, a lot of things that people want.
Yeah.
But then for whatever reason it may be, they just don't take the steps to do it. They don't take the actual steps to get it. And I think that being able to understand what is going on and what the inability to, is kind of similar to what we were talking about last week when we were talking about the grieving process, and we were talking about, you got to understand the extremes being death, because if you don't know the extremes of this situation, then you're not going to take any action.
Yeah.
It's the exact same similar concept with this. So I think it's a very, very powerful tool to really just get people to finally like get up and take some active steps to manage their stress.
Exactly right. And I think that this is not something to bully anyone into doing, but it is like the whole purpose of this podcast is not to be able to, we're not here to diagnose, judge, or make any comments about anybody. All we're doing is that it's like a fun car ride to the doctors, right? Yeah. It's like it's making it a little bit enjoyable, but we're also going to be your unreasonable friend to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And the fact of it with your mental health, just like with anything about your health, you play the most pivotal role, and you've got to be the catalyst for change.
Yeah.
So it's got to be like, you got to be that person that's able to take that first step and take the responsibility to make that change. And sometimes we don't realize that. We think that, oh, it's mental health. Like, it's very hard to make to make those steps. And I'm not disputing that. It's incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. But we still got to be your unreasonable friends here to be like, yes, it is hard, but doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
It's so necessary to actually do this, to vet yourself and take action, because without action, nothing's going to happen. You play such a big role. You play, honestly, the most important role. No psychologist, no psychiatrist, no medication, no program, no podcast, no video is going to change your life the way that you can change your life.
Exactly. Like, there's so many things, like, you can read everything, you can get everything, you can do whatever it is, you can invest thousands and thousands of dollars and getting the best psychologist, psychiatrist, or medication, whatever it is. But like you were saying, unless you're active with it and you make that conscious decision that I'm going to actually make a change and I'm committed to it, just like with weight loss, you know, like, you can't you can't do all these like pills and stuff and be like, yeah, even though they may work temporarily, you'll end up going back to the same habits because you haven't made that conscious change with yourself to make that a lifestyle. And that's what we need to be doing with this. So yeah, you gotta, like you were saying, you gotta be so active when it comes to making some change.
Yeah, exactly right. And what you just said is spot on, man. It's like, we're just here to be able to encourage you to be able to do those things and to be able to encourage you to take those first steps.
Yeah.
So I guess the purpose of this podcast is to be short and sweet, but I want you to have a very clear step in being able to take that action.
Yeah.
And what we always talk about, awareness, baby. Reflection, baby. It's another reflection piece. We give you so many reflection types. It's all about reflection. It's all about self-reflection. It's all about that. And so this exercise that I want you guys to do, so in this time frame, hopefully you have grabbed a pen and paper and switched on your honesty mode in your brain.
And just so I can pre-frame, because I think it's really important that, like, what does honesty mode actually look like? Like, what does it mean being your honest mode? So we're the biggest, like, sometimes we find it difficult to go, we can't handle the truth sometimes. So we try to, you know, we word it or we sugarcoat it or we go around it to just make it sound a little prettier or whatever, but we don't actually face what the root issue is. So to me, what it looks like when you're completely honest, when you're doing this exercise, is not thinking about it too much. You're not trying to intellectualize and actually think of the best word or however to do it. It's all about what's the first thing that pops up and just write it down. It's messy. It's not meant to be clean. You're not showing this as a presentation to get rewards. It's just for you to look at.
Exactly. And it's exactly what you just said. It's not a place to judge yourself. It's not a place to be able to compare yourself to anybody else. It's really important to know that there are no good or bad feelings in this. There's no good or bad answers. You know what I mean? It's like, when you're doing this, it's not for you to be like, oh, that should have been better. I should feel better. Yeah. It's not good, it's not bad. It just is. That's how you feel right now. And that's totally okay. That's the moment that you kind of attach that guilt with your feelings in the way that where you are now. That's when it becomes dangerous. And that's when it becomes even harder to take that action. Yeah. So this exercise, I want to just pre-frame. It's really, really important when you're doing this. If, like, you're at that point where you're not going to judge yourself, it's really important that you're giving yourself that space, that regardless of whatever you write down on that paper, it's 100% okay. It just is what it is, and just accepting that moment and being able to give yourself that space to be able to accept that moment. If you don't think that you're ready for that, that's totally okay. Take your time until you are ready for that. Cool. So the exercise, drum roll, please.
What drum roll is that?
I don't know. Your drum roll.
I didn't make that.
That's how light skinned people drum roll. Hey guys. Shout out to my boy LB. That's how he drum rolls.
That's how he drum rolls.
This is how LB would do a podcast. Yeah. So I want to talk about mental health right now.
I know.
And it's so crazy.
So crazy. Looking straight in the camera.
Yeah. So crazy right now. Yo, all right, cool. So this is the exercise. So you get a pen and paper, and you put a line vertically down the middle.
Okay.
On the left-hand side, you write today's date, which is
whatever day you decide to do it.
Yeah, whatever day. Today, if you didn't do it today, it's the third. It's not going to be the 31st. But we're recording this on the 31st of
Whatever
July.
the date is when you listen to this.
Yeah, whatever the date is. 'Cause you don't need to know how early or...
You've exposed us, you idiot. Oh my God.
Regardless of when we film this, so whatever your date is, and just write today's date, and then you just write on the title of the left-hand side, which is today's date, is going to be where I'm at. And give yourself 30 seconds. I don't want it to be much longer than 30 seconds because that's when we tend to overthink. 30 seconds, and the aim of the game is to just write as much things as you can. And what you're wanting to write is, what do you think and what do you feel, honestly and objectively, when you think about yourself and where you're at in life? And I don't mean, the beauty of this is that it's meant to be up to your interpretation.
That's right.
So it's not meant to be for me to be like, what do you mean? Do you mean in terms of my stress? Do you mean to just you? What do you feel? Do you feel like you're ambitious? Do you feel like you're overweight? Do you feel like you're happy? Do you think you're sad? Do you think you're angry? Do you think you're doing well? Do you think whatever words you want to put down, those words have come to your mind for a reason.
Exactly. And I think that, like, I just wanted to mention, because when I do this exercise with a few people, because it's a very powerful exercise, a lot of people tend to sometimes think of the bad straight away. Like, they just feel like, I need to label this as like, oh, it's just bad stuff. Where it's like, well, what's bad stuff? When it really comes down to it at the end of the day. But that's kind of how people think. They're like, okay, let's put down the negatives. And that's, again, hindering your ability to be truly honest and, vulnerable with yourself. Like, I'm sure there's great things that is happening as well. There's great things that you're proud of as well. Of course. You got to write those things down. Like, literally good. I don't like using the word good or bad, but just good, bad, whatever comes to your mind, just put it down there and just be 100% real with yourself. Yeah, exactly right. And just put it down, and whatever you might feel about it is important. And if you feel like, honestly, and that's why the honesty is so pivotal. If you feel like, honestly, you can't think of anything good, that's totally okay. Good, inverted commas for anyone that's not watching it. Yeah. Right? That's totally okay. Because it's not good, it's not bad, it just is. That's just how you feel right now. Yeah. It's not about judging yourself, just whatever. Then on the right-hand side, you want to write, you can do this exercise for whatever time frame. We generally say the best time frame is usually 12 months because that's a good amount of time to be able to elicit significant change. And it's not too far away that it feels unattainable. People can generally be like, I can see myself in 12 months. But say, what does life look like in 5 years? Like, I have no clue. 12 months, you have a pretty good idea what the next 12 months is going to look like. And you can plan yourself out for 12 months, to be honest. Like, if you get yourself a diary and stuff, there's a cool kind of like journaling technique that they do that allows you to see your whole, like in your diary. So yeah, just thought I'd put that out there. That's really achievable and reasonable. On this episode of it, if you guys want to do that, thanks for your 2 cents, Nick. You're right. Cheers, mate. That's insane. It wasn't even a paid sponsorship either. It's crazy. It was just like, hi, cool. Anyway, back to the exercise. I'm trying to get money, bro. It was a paid sponsorship. Yeah, don't cut the sponsorship. Yeah, so you basically go on the right-hand side and then you write 12 months, exact date, 12 months, or whatever, the 18th of August, 2021. And then you write down, where do you want your life? What do you want to feel about life in 12 months? Where do you want to be in life? What do you want to think about yourself in 12 months, right? It's the same thing. It's just visualization, right? It's just like, where do you want to be? And the reason why this is so important is not just, and first of all, when you're doing that, it's not about what do you think is possible, because that becomes scary, right? And then you get faced with your own insecurities, your own limitations, your own issues, right? So it becomes very important to not put down what you think is possible. To put down, if I was a magic genie, I could grant you any wish, what would you want 12 months to look like? In 12 months, right? So you put that there. And that's really powerful, not just because you're like, oh, I have this goal, but it gives you perspective of what you are giving, what you are risking, and what you are potentially sacrificing if you don't take action. Because realistically, the truth is, when you write that stuff down, whether you realize it or not, the stuff that you're writing is stuff that you actually think you can achieve. But the moment that I say I'm a magic genie, you start being a bit more honest with yourself what you can be, right? It's like,
You just start putting things that what you actually do want and what you actually do think you can do. So these are things that you obviously do think that you can achieve at some point, or you think are feasible. Because you're not gonna write like, I want to fly to the moon. Of course you're not gonna say that. That's not important to you. And B, come on, like, are you gonna somehow levitate to the moon? Of course not. But you might feel something else, right? So cool. So you write those things and it gives you a bit of perspective in terms of like, what is actually important to me? Yeah. What do I actually care about? And more importantly, now that I know what I actually do care about, I also know what I'm actually putting into perspective and what I'm actually putting up if I'm not taking action. If I'm not stepping up, in 12 months, I could be giving that up. I could be pushing that goal further and further and further and further away. So it's really important to know that about yourself and to know what you want to do. Cost of inaction, cost of inaction, cost of inaction. So important, especially with your stress, especially with being able to kick yourself up the bum to take the action. Because I think sometimes in mental health, this is a very controversial thing I'm going to say, but it's what I honestly feel.
I could tell it's coming controversial because you start doing that, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
I'm going to say it in a way that isn't
chest.
I'm going to say it with my chest, but I'm also going to be aware and consider about people's kind of triggers. So I'm going to say this in a way that's going to be a little bit more, it's going to be exactly what I mean, but this is from someone that's experienced this shit. This is someone that's experienced this shit. So it's not like from the outside looking in. This is for me, my own personal experience and me being me throughout it. Me as a man, me as a person, right? I feel like when people are very scared to tell people with mental health issues, whatever it is, anxiety, depression, stress, whatever situation, in an appropriate and safe manner, I want to put it out there, in an appropriate and safe manner, to take responsibility. And I don't mean take responsibility for what's going on or be like, oh, this is your fault. I do not mean that. What I mean is to play a role in your recovery. Play a role in your next steps. Because it wasn't until I played a role in my recovery or my next steps that I was able to make a change. I had people that cared about me, that were trying to help me, but it wasn't until I actually took that role and I really grabbed onto it, I was able to make those steps. And that's why we're having this podcast is like, if you know somebody that isn't taking that needs to be taking these steps,
keep going.
You know someone that isn't taking these steps and needs to be taking those steps in a loving and appropriate and safe manner, encourage them to. I hope if that's you, and I hope this podcast does do that for you. And if it's not you, and it's somebody you know, in a safe and appropriate and loving and them-centered way, encourage them to grab hold of their recovery. When I say take responsibility, I don't mean take responsibility of what's happened to them. That's not what I'm saying. There's so many different causes and factors and traumas and situations that have led up to it. That's so irrelevant to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, like, encourage the people around you to be their best. Not that I'm not saying that then what they are now isn't good enough, but you know that person. Me, myself, when I was going through that, I know me as a person. I can only speak from my own experience. Me as a person, when I was going through those like deep depressions and on whatever I was going through, I knew I didn't want to feel that. If I knew I didn't want to feel that, that means I didn't feel my best, right? So I needed somebody to really encourage me to take that role, to be able to do something about it. And yeah, man, that's what I'm just saying. It's like, guys, really love yourself, because it's like, that's love. That's honestly an act of love. Sugarcoating shit, not saying shit to people, not being honest with people, that's bullshit. And trust me, like, if you're that person going through it, you know you don't respect people like that can't really help you. That's not help. So it's like, you need to tell people to really be there and really be there for themselves and really be there for them as well. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah. I don't think that was like a controversial. Like, I mean, obviously I can appreciate how it would be, but like it's real talk. Like, it's the real thing. It's like,
I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to like they're gonna get. There can be people that can feel some type of way about it.
Which I can totally understand. And that's the thing about this whole like mental health thing, that it's very individualized and everyone can respond in their own way kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think that like you raise a good point that at the end of the day, it's like what it really comes down to, just like with like anything, like if you're wanting to, even just like not even a mental health way, but if you're wanting to like lose weight, you want to grow your business, you want to get a missus, you want to, have a flourishing relationship, like you played a role in that. Like that's you. You've got to do that. You know what I mean? And I think that like what you said, like you really nailed it in the head. And I think that's a very powerful point. And I think that, like there's not much that really needs to be said beyond that, man. I think that take it as it is. But, it's coming from a place of love.
100%. And man, if you want to talk to me about it a little bit more, hit me up, baby. I'm always down to at who's Femi on Instagram. At Nick and Femi, I'll get that too. On 0435.
Oh, that's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. So just hit me up and we'll get to chopping.
Yeah. Nah, man, but for real, man, I really enjoyed that. I think that's super valuable. And like if you guys implement and like you act on that, then I think that like you guys are gonna see results. You guys are gonna see that you're going to understand the cost of inaction, but most importantly as well, beyond everything that we're saying, you're going to realize that you guys actually deserve this. Like everything that you want, everything that you're aspiring for, everything that you put on the right-hand side, like you actually deserve it. Like you don't deserve to be living a life where you're continuously low, you're feeling like you're lacking self-worth, and whatever that might come down to the piece of paper that you put down on the left-hand side. Like go and chase what it is that you want. Go and chase what you literally deserve to have, because it's within your hand. You just got to go out and reach and grab it. So that's how I want to conclude. I want you guys to feel good and empowered, because that's what it's all about. You guys need to be empowered to be able to take that action. Woo! But anyways, that's it for another episode of Uncovered with Nick and Femi. Yep. We're going to be back with our, I think, is it the final stress series we're doing next week?
It sure is. Season finale.
Woo-hoo! So I'm excited to deliver that to you guys, but I really want to hear how you guys go with that exercise. Yeah. If you even want to share it, that's even like another bolder step. When you start involving other people with that as well, and you show it down, like that's such a massive step in terms of your recovery. So if you're wanting to do that, then by all means, show it to your friends, family, someone that's really close to you, that loves you and is really caring for you. And you can even show it to us as well. Like we love and care for you guys too. So don't be shy to share it to us as well. Yeah, for sure. And we're actually going to start a poll. We're going to start a poll as well. There's been a couple of inquiries for potentially a name change from Uncovered with Nick and Femi to just Uncovered with Femi. Yeah. So if you want it to be Uncovered with Femi, or just Uncovered with Nick and Femi, or Femi, whichever of the three options you want, let us know. Vote in the poll. Yeah, where's the poll? Huh? Where's the poll gonna be? It's called, this guy, he can't Femi.com. Femi.com, bro. You just by that answer, doesn't even have a good answer. You gotta keep it Uncovered, Nick and Femi. So thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for that suggestion. Thanks for that suggestion, my friends. But it's crazy. Uncovered with Nick and Femi. All right, peace and love.